Thank you for coming to the channel. This may be a whole lane switch right now for this channel, but it's because I have a huge vision. I want to still do film practices, post live performances, but I do want to have small podcast shows on this channel to just open the range. If you see the thumbnail, you see the screen, Organic Dreamers Association is going to be the extension to ODA, or the artist, but I want to have Organic Dreamers Association as a collective. So when I start doing episodes and I start having like people that just want to be a part of the whole ODA movement, man, I'm gonna have all type of pixel characters, bro. I got a huge vision for this right now. So just stick around. You're gonna see the huge vision and you're gonna love the vision. But this podcast is called Food for Thought. It's all about deep realizations, just knowledge that you learned, experiences you've been through. Because, come on now, it's all our first spin around the globe. So the best thing we could do is share our wisdom and knowledge with other people and help them move forward or help them get out of the rut that they're in right now. You never know what your words do. This message is for everyone, but it's felt most by the ones that need to hear it. And this is like an open discussion. So if you want to add to, put your opinion in, just drop it in the comments. We all family here. We all cool. So drop your comment, let me know. This video was kind of like a reaction or a catch up to my old video, Gentleman's Talk, which I will drop in the description. But it's kind of like a review years later and like what I learned. And then it's like I put what I learned into a poem. Then I'm like, no, I could talk about this for real and give y'all great examples of great stories. Okay. I'm doing this because I just got the sudden urge to do it. But I've been writing down for a while and like just thinking about like this poem I wanted to make, but now it's just something I just want to talk about. And it's called Words Are Not Enough. Just going out like throughout this journey, learning a bunch about myself and just like basically looking back and reflecting on everything that I was told, things that I've seen being told to others. It just was like, it always didn't feel like enough. You know what I'm saying? I was always one of the people that was like, it was see it to believe it, but now it's like I gotta like see it to believe the words that's being said to me, because words are not enough really. And because you can say like, okay, something is something, right? But somebody might describe it as a whole different thing. Or like, take for instance the word love. When you hear love, you can think of bazillion different things, but everybody's basically action or emotion about love may be different. How they like view love, you know what I'm saying? Because an example I was thinking of when I was in the shower was like a relationship. When you first begin a relationship, you trying to get that other person's like love, really. That's the whole point of really a relationship. You're getting love from somebody other than yourself. So you get that love from another person, and then it's like once we get that, a bunch of us are just sitting on our hands at that point. Love just becomes a habit. She loves me, so it's stuck that way. And I feel like that's why the honeymoon phase ends for a bunch of couples quickly, or like, like the love, just everything just dies out quickly. And I was always the type of person that would like, bro, like I'll say like I'll fall in love quickly, but I'm in love with that starting part where we're trying to earn each other's love. That's where it is. That's where it's at. Because you finna you finna come see me every day. You finna, everything you doing, You're doing because you will to love me, and that will is coming from the fact that you want me to love you. You know what I'm saying? So the willpower is directed differently once you receive love and while you're giving love. And I'll say for myself, it was a bunch of times where I wanted love from my spouse. I got that love, and I could truly admit, I sat on my hands after I got that, because it's like, okay, mission complete. And I thought that was enough, because now it's just habitual love. Now the emotion of love, the action of love has just turned into the simple word love. And then we give it that weight. She loved me so. She loved me so. You know what I'm saying? She loved me so ... She's going to do this. She's going to do that because she loves me. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think we often we don't look at our own situations like that. But we'll look at somebody else's situation and try to like curate or try to tell them what they should do. So it's like all I can say is words are not enough. Actions literally speak louder than words. And I feel like people throw that quotation around so much, but don't really live that quotation. And the greats always say, knowledge without action, it's just garbage. Because you can know everything in the world, you can read every book in the world, but until you actually apply and experience these things, it's not wisdom for anybody. It's not even wisdom for yourself. So the biggest thing is to live that quotation out. And then I feel like we kind of treat it a different way when it comes to certain relationships with people, like with friends. It's easy to love your friends because your friends love you because you're you. You know what I'm saying? So it's easy to, okay, I love this person. I will to love my homeboys, you know what I'm saying? But it's not like I'm willing to love my partner. It's different, but at the same time, it should not be different. It should be the exact same way because it's your partner. Your partner, okay, another example of myself. When I was in relationships, I didn't really like be myself too much. I would kind of try to shape myself to be who they wanted. And that was a big major problem that I didn't notice until I started reflecting on a bunch of my past experiences. And even it was times where like my mom was like, okay, you acting different, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't really think about it at that time, but I was really shaping myself to be who somebody liked instead of them liking who I was. And that is a genuine problem. And it's not until you're out of everything and you have time to reflect that you see what the problem is. And I never was the type to really play victim at all. Everything that ever happened in my life, I learned at a young age. You had a decision in this. It's yes or no. You had a yes or no. You wasn't held against your will. Nobody held a gun to your head and told you to date this person or to die. Everything that you went into is because you wanted to do it. So I didn't have anybody to be mad at beside myself, and knowing that, I would always point the finger at myself, and pointing the finger at yourself also requires you to reflect, which I feel a bunch of people don't do. A bunch of us would rather be victims and blame the other person for faults. Okay, this person might have some foul play in the situation, but at the same time, how could you have prevented it? Could you have spoken up? Could you have changed there's so many factors that play into what happens now, but it's what you do right now. But in those moments, we're probably not even aware, we just going through the emotions with this person. And it's not until you're out, you reflect on those moments like, wow, it should have been this or should have been that. A bunch of us are blinded by what we think is love. A bunch of us are blinded by love. But at the same time, we're blinded from ourselves. So we don't look at it. We don't look at everything as heavy as it should be. Really, you should be on thin ice about yourself. You should be like not having people walking on eggshells all the time. But you got to make sure this person know I'm going to be me, you going to be you, and we together because we love each other. You know what I'm saying? We will to love each other. We want to love each other. We want to love our faults, our goods, our bads. We want to love that. And those are all things that can be expressed without love. You can really be in a relationship and not even tell somebody you love them, but you can show the biggest amount of love and they probably will never even need to hear you say I love you. You know what I'm saying? It can be like that, but I don't know where, like, we just hit this wall where we need to be told that we're loved instead of showed that we're loved. And it's actually scary to even think about. That's one of the reasons why I just named it Words Aren't Enough. Because words aren't enough. You can tell anybody anything, and that's for both sides, receiving and giving. You can tell anybody anything, or anybody can tell you anything. But at the end of the day, it's nothing until it's experienced and it's showed to you. But I feel like we don't stand behind that, and that's something we really need to stand behind as just like ourselves. That's the best thing you can do to respect yourself. Because if you tell yourself you're going to do something, I guarantee 9 times out of 10 you won't do it, or you're going to feel like you fell short or you fell behind. Why is it different for somebody else? If they say they love you, they have to show you that. And if they not showing you love how you want to be showed, that's something you could discuss. But that's not something that you just act shady about or act different about. And if they don't show the love how you want it, there's nothing wrong with leaving the situation where it's at. I feel like we don't do this stuff enough, you know. It's self-care for yourself, but at the end of the day, it's still helping out your partner, because then maybe they'll be like, okay, I can do this and I can do that. But you got to make sure you tell them you don't have to change yourself for me at all. If that's who you are and that's how you show love, that's just how you show love. But sometimes it might not be enough for me. You know what I'm saying? The major thing in this world is being able to communicate. Even though words aren't enough, you have to communicate. Because if you say a word like, okay, this is not enough for me, those words can turn into actions for that person or whatever you're telling them that you're receiving too much of or not enough of. You know what I'm saying? That can change the action. But if the actions don't change and the words aren't enough, that's too negative. So it's time to bust up and get out the situation. You got to subtract. It's 2 subtractions. But I feel like we need to watch how we use words and make sure our words match our actions.